Guys.
Ram, you're disappearing again.
So I think we are, so it's starting now. So I think we are live. Yeah, always the same. We can't see it straight away, but
yeah.
Yeah, now it's going on. Perfect. So we are live. Chong, don't move away. So yeah, welcome. Early in the morning in Europe, Thursday noon in Boise, Idaho, and
it's 6 p.m. in Boise.
And a little bit, yeah, normal breakfast time in Australia for Terry, and yeah, Chong is now also part of the group. So yeah, we'll start. So my name is Lars from Colourlock, LEDERZENTRUM, and then we have Ram from Colourlock, UK, North America. We have Levi Gates from the Rack Company, the main microfiber producing worldwide company. So, and yeah, Terry from Down Under, Australia, Perth is here. And yeah, finally we get also Chong from Malaysia, who is in the capital city, so in Kuala Lumpur. And yeah, the idea today is, because we have first time Chong with us, to talk a little bit more about the ASEAN area, what's going on there. And yeah, first of all, I will share, guys, with you the link that you can share it on your social medias as well.
That'd be good. I haven't seen it pop up yet.
Yeah.
So on YouTube.
Yeah. Where is Give me a second. I don't know why I can't. Ah, no. Okay, there is it. Okay, it was just my screen was too small. Okay, so I will share here in the Zoom meeting. I will share with you the YouTube link. Okay, this is the one first thing, and then I will go to Facebook. I hope you got it. You get it? You got it?
Yep, we just got it.
Okay, so Dino's also live. Hello, Dino. Ryan is coming in. Ryan Rickdown. Hi, Levi. So
hey, man.
Some people,
Ryan was in the live with us.
Because you had your Q&A, Thursday Q&A.
Yep. We just got done with the Thursday Q&A at the Rag Company YouTube channel, and so I promoted it there. So we'll hopefully have some folks that want to hang out and chat. So just punching in this link right now.
Where is that link? Oh, you're on
the chat.
It's on the chat.
Oh, on the
chat
Zoom
window, on the Zoom chat. Oh.
Yep.
There we go. Brought it up. Oh. Same video unavailable.
First time I've seen you write your full name, Terry. So coming up on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, it'll come up. It'll come up with the full printed name.
There we go. All right.
Yeah. Prefer Terry, I have to say.
Right. So how is everybody today?
Good. I'm sure, like many of you guys, like especially for Chong, like the whole start of everything happening. You know, this week was kind of a week of reopening for a lot of countries. I know I was talking to Lars earlier about how Boise, Idaho, on Monday was the start of our reopening for the state. But it is a tiered timeline. So, you know, this from now until the 16th, they're reopening, you know, non-essential businesses except for bars, restaurants, nightclubs, hair salons, and movie theaters. So anywhere we're in the social distancing, no groups gathering or anything like that. You still have to wear masks and all that. But we are all back to work at the rag company. So we have different entry points. So those of us upstairs have to use the fire escape to enter and exit. So we open the fire escape. Everybody that's downstairs has to use the receiving door to come in, and then all those that are in the warehouse have to use the warehouse door. And the goal is just to not create any cross-contamination. We put microwaves and fridges in each section just to limit the cross-contamination in the kitchen area, so that each, we basically built small mini kitchens, so the team in the new media center building, we got them a microwave and we set it on a workbench, and we got them a fridge. And same thing with the warehouse. We put up a folding table, plugged in a microwave, plugged in a fridge, a little, call it kind of small fridge. And then our other building, we did the same thing, where it's just to limit, just people congregating in areas like that, so that they don't have a need to come into every building. They can just stay in their building. But yeah, other than that, we've been swamped, and it's been a very busy week. SEMA picks have started. So with a lot of shows being canceled this year, this year we found out, this week we had, Lars called me to tell me Auto Mechanica was canceled. Wax Stock is canceled as of today. A lot of shows that were on our list for the rag company are canceled that we were going to do. So a lot of travel. So good news is I got the summer free. I don't have to be on an airplane. So I can do some camping and stuff like that, maybe some family vacation. But yeah, it's SEMA started, and SEMA is doing 100% refund for companies exhibiting up until September 1st. So we're going on with our picks. So SEMA may be the only event that we have this year, so to speak, in our industry, with the way it's going. So, but how about you guys?
I'll speak for ourselves. It's been a week of cancellations, really, as you said. We were, me and Lars have been speaking. I think we spoke yesterday, and we found out that Auto Mechanica has been cancelled, and then just this afternoon I got that email saying that Wax Stock's cancelled as well. So yeah, it's just trying to keep up with all the cancellations, and obviously knowing now that certain events are definitely not going ahead. Obviously, we knew that there was a possibility, but now it's all getting confirmed. But yeah, I'm really hoping that SEMA will go ahead, even if it's a smaller version of what would normally happen. I'm really, really hoping that'll go on, because that SEMA is always the highlight of the highlight event of the year for us. More so this year. I think with so many shows being cancelled, I think I'm really hoping that'll go ahead, because one, that's down in November, so we've still got plenty of time, hopefully for things to get back to a relatively normal situation. But yeah,
the goal this year is to not get sick.
Exactly.
Because everybody gets sick at SEMA. That's the funny thing. You come back from SEMA and you're sick because you shook so many hands and gave so many hugs and met so many people. So
it's just gonna be, if we could just
I
do
guess
SEMA and come back scathe-free, we might be all right.
Yeah, but I guess when SEMA will start, they have to do for sure an hygienic concept or something like this. So if we really can shake hands, I don't think so. You know what I mean? So
yeah, right.
It will be completely a different show, and But Ram and me, we agree that if we are allowed to enter the US, to come in, and if the show will be, we will do it for sure. So even if less people will come, or even there's everything complicated about a hygienic system or whatever, so we say we will do it for sure. So hopefully we can do this, and so
Yep.
USD, and yeah, more and more in Germany comes more and more back. So also my area where I live in the north of Germany, close to the two seas, North and East Sea, is starting in 1 week is allowed for touristic activities to come back. They will open restaurants next Monday or 1 week. So yeah, more and more. And also I see on the for me it's always, you know, I drive very early, 5 a.m. in the morning to my office, and I really see on the traffic if the life come back or not, and it builds up. The autobahn is nearly the same full like before Corona, and that is for me a sign that it comes completely back.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
still
traffic
is
on the road.
what is still not we are not using to is to wear a mask, no? So but you have to, by law, you have to wear a mask when you go in a restaurant, not a restaurant, but to a pharmacy, grocery or something. So you have to wear a mask. What is for us a new thing, but yeah. So a new industry is born. Mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Australia is doing pretty good. I mean, we have, compared to many other countries, we have relatively fewer cases, but our government have still locked down equally as much as anywhere else. Just a few days ago, they started to allow groups of 10 are allowed to gather, but restaurants are still closed. Many of the sports are all closed, aquatic centres and so on. They're all still shut. So we're hoping to get an announcement soon that says we can start opening up small businesses, because we haven't had any new cases here for, I think in WA, we've had five consecutive days with no new cases. And we've got, you know, there's the curve is at the bottom. So we should be opening up.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
What I forgot is because I'm not interested in, but the National Soccer League will start on May 16th. So
The Bundesliga.
That's good. That's good.
yeah, for me, I'm not a soccer fan, so I have just one hobby. That's my company. But for all people who has time for soccer, and you know that is our main important sport in Germany.
Yeah.
And
Also
UK guys now we found it also, no?
Yeah.
No. No way. That's the first time I'm hearing Lars. No, I think for us, you know, without football, without Premiership football is that's boring.
Yeah.
And and I know Lars is not into it, but
An
since
institution.
we're on the topic, I will say that, you know, if you're a Liverpool fan, it's an absolute killer. Yeah. So Liverpool haven't won the league in 30 years. Last year we lost by 1 point to Manchester City. This year we're 25 points clear. We just need to win 2 more games. But at this point, they're saying that they might just cancel the whole league. They might just write off this whole season.
No, but Kloppy will do next year the same. That's no problem for him.
Yeah. Well, that's what we hope. But
he's the best trainer ever. So.
Yeah, but yeah, no. All right, Chong. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I think it's your turn.
Yeah, Chong. Okay. So what's going on in Malaysia? How's the situation? What is about you? And please please talk a little bit about yourself. So where are you in your country? What is your business? How long are you in the detailing scene? Are you doing detailing all by yourself? Which kind of brands do you have in your workshop? And so far, that the people who are new here get an overview and an idea what are you doing?
Actually, I've been doing since I think 7 years ago. I started car coating business, the glass coating.
Glass coating,
and yeah, of course, with Japan, Maruyama-san, together and distribute the brand from Japan together in the whole Southeast Asia. Yeah. So.
Which brand is this? What is it known in? Is it known in the West world? Or?
The brand is actually from our in-house brand, Ulgo, Japan. Yeah. And then now we are carrying another brand, US, from the state, Fine Lab. Yeah, do you know Fine Lab?
I don't know Fine Lab. Maybe Levi or
I do. Yeah, I know Fine Lab. Do you guys know Mayvinci, UK?
Yeah.
So Mayvinci and Fine Lab are the same company, same product. And Mayvinci's is popular in the UK. Fine Lab is another version of the coating in the US. So they have a self-healing coating. It's a good coating.
Yeah.
Very good coating.
Surprised the coating can be self-healing.
Yeah.
It's a first in the world.
Yeah, really cool stuff. So love it.
Yeah.
So what was the other, Chong, you were saying, what was the other brand that you carry in-house?
It's from Maruyama-san.
From Japan? Okay.
From Japan. Also Colourlock partner.
So Masa-san is our partner
yes,
for Japan. He's
yeah.
based in Osaka. And so they do the LEDERZENTRUM Japan and care for the Colourlock brand. And Masa is employed in a bigger detailing center in Osaka with a lot of I don't know, Chong, how many people are working there? It's
about 30 somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So 30 people in a detailer shop, but they do also trimmer jobs, upholstering jobs. They do a lot of different kind of things, and they have also his own detailing brand. I don't know. It is Ulgo. Maybe can you write it in the chat here on Zoom so I can write it, or maybe you have a link that I can put a link outside in the. To Facebook that everybody knows. I'm always not sure how to write it, and I don't know what is all inside of this. Okay, but what are you doing? What are you doing? So do you have your own? I mean, I know this because I was visiting you, but all the people who don't know you. So do you have your own shop also? Are you doing just selling the products, or are you doing the coating as well? And do you do detailing by yourself, or what is
actually I have another business. Is upholstery for automotive interior. Most of that we design the leather trim for export. Most of our business is for export. So my company is also design some specific or special design, and then produce. Produce is actually we are using our partner factory to produce, and then export to now it's last 2 countries, Mongolia and also Japan. Back to our partner Maruyama-san.
Fantastic.
So you cut and saw
No. We don't. We are not the production factory. But it's our friend factory.
Okay.
But we are concentrate on design or niche market for how to say, it's like just supply to specific customer. For example, like those car to restore back to 1970 years. the leather have to be original, and the car have to send to do the auction, then to get a higher price. So you must do, or you must get the original taste, or the color, the design, everything. Yeah.
Yes,
And sometimes it's like some unique customer, they request to redesign the whole GTR, you know. So yeah, to change the color, or to do some special quilting, stitching.
Yeah.
So we just do one car for just one customer.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not produce like 100 or 50 car. No. Yeah.
Just do niche specialist work.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And myself is actually we separate a few business, including Colourlock. We concentrate on distributing our product, but we also have our own workshop to do car detailing, leather repair, together with training center. We are more concentrate on to do training, because we have the whole market. We are partnering with our agent, our dealers. So we are building up the business together with our partners. So we are not getting into B2C to grab our partner customer. We support our partner to get more business. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So also together with Singapore, our partner Colourlock, they are also locked down until June, 1st of June. Yeah.
Wow.
How has this affected your business, Chong? All
Yeah,
this lockdown?
it's quite a big damage. Yeah. So actually, the biggest problem is the whole situation. The government is unclear, and they are like changing the rules daily. You know, it's not like continuous to implement everything the same. So even though the government they really don't know how to do it, like for the financial situation, first time they was announced to delay the payment, like 6 months for the housing loan. The mortgage can delay to pay that, but you still have to pay some compound interest. Like car loan, the car interest is waived, and you don't have to pay like 6 months. And suddenly, like I think 1 week ago, they changed it. They just say you guys have to pay back. I think the government doesn't have the money to support the whole the biggest financial crisis now, even though they afraid the bank will collapse,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
I
why
have
the government right now, they some people saying that government is doing U-turn, everything U-turn, like that is official announcing, then they change it. So yeah.
Yeah, I have a
It's
good
very
friend
bad.
who actually lives he lives in Penang. One of my best friends lives in Penang.
Yeah.
He's from Penang, and he used to work in a hotel there, and the hotel's been shut for 4, 5, 6 weeks, I think now, and he's just sat at home not knowing what to do. So Lars, you know about him, right? Shaq.
I know Shaq. Yeah, I met him.
Yeah. So
when he was working at your place.
Yeah. So now I know a little bit of what's going on there.
And actually, right now, even though they allow to move out, to reopen the market, but still, of course, all the entertainment business, they are not allowed, even though including sport, indoor sport or outdoor sport. School not allowed, still locked down, not allowed to open. Only small business or something like office, stay in office business, or food and restaurant, they are not allowed to dine in. Yeah. So the government is actually unclear. They announced like allowed to reopen. The federal government, they allow, but the state government is changing, saying that they are not allowed. Some rules different from the federal government. And then turns out a news was announced that the federal government tell the people you can sue you can complain or sue the state government if they are not allowed you to open. So, that's quite weird. It's chaos, and of course, it's not allowed to gathering. The cinema not allowed to open, but they allowed the shopping mall to open. So most of our cinema is inside the shopping mall, but shopping mall is allowed to open, like those fashion shop, that is fine, but not many people, go out to shopping. And nowadays, we go out, I can compare with normal days, it's less, about 90% still, even though people are saying can reopen, but it's less. Yeah, it's about 10% people is going out. Yeah. So yeah, the government is unclear, the financial have problem, and our business is like until March, the previous order we can ship out, we can we receive the money. That's until March, mid of March, and then all the rest, the pre-order, whatever pre-booking or leather repair, or just cancel, or the booking is delay, hold, So now is almost zero business. Yeah. And that's a
yeah, that is
situation.
very worse. So we crossing fingers that it's going very quickly back to normal, and that you can get very quickly a good situation. But what is maybe also interesting, Chong, for all the people here is the situation when it's normal. So the corona-free situation in Asia. So can you tell us a little bit about the market in your country, in Malaysia, but maybe also a little bit about, so I know you speak Japanese, you speak Chinese, so you have a lot of contact in the whole Asian area. So what is detailing in Asia? What is detailing in Malaysia? What is detailing in Japan, for example? And is it something popular? And I mean, also a little bit the market of the US in compared to US or compared to Europe. Can you tell us a little bit about this? What is going on? Is detailing a big thing, or is it more caring for coating and wrapping? Is this a bigger thing to save cars?
For which kind of point of view to?
Just give us for people who never been in Asia, never been in Malaysia. So what I mean is car detailing, is it a niche, or is it something what is popular? Is it that normal people want this, and do you work more for end customers? Is it a one-man show, or is it always a big company like our partner in Japan with 30 people? So that is what I mean. Is it more, you know, in the US it's very often, or also in Europe, it's very often a one-man show, sometimes 2 or 3 people working together, but it's mostly small businesses detailing. And it's very independent how good the advertising is in his area, and so it's more popular or less popular. And yeah, different kind of materials is using, and also the focus is different. So what I recognize when I'm in China, for example, is to wrap a car with a clear foil is very common. That is what I recognize. And the detailing scene, especially the tuning scene, is completely different in Japan to everything else across the world. So maybe detailing is also a bit different. And Japanese are, from my point of what I learned and saw, was that they are also just caring more for his car than maybe other people. So yeah, just what is detailing in Asia? So my question.
I think detailing in Asia is still very new for us, but I'm just talking about my business first, because I don't know other people how they state detailing in Asia. But for our business, first start we are copying the whole what can I say, the technical the system of car detailing from Japan. Actually it's our head office in Japan for car detailing. So we are copying all the business system, the technical system, everything from Japan, and implement into our other markets in Southeast Asia. So I'm not quite really know about Euro or US state, okay, but I saw a lot in Facebook, the social media in Euro or North America. I think most of them is one man or very professional, but just, you know, acting so professional, just one man show to do the whole car detailing is paying a lot of attention.
Are detailing a growing industry in your area? Is it a growth industry?
Okay. For my business now, we actually growing to collaboration with those car manufacturer. Car manufacturers. So now actually we selling our product to Mercedes-Benz, the car dealers. So we have about 50% of a market share in Malaysia. Okay. And in Thailand, we have Porsche is our distributor. So it's meaning that each Porsche go out from the showroom, they have coated with our coating, something like that. Okay. And then we supply our product. We also supply our manpower to train their people to do the car detailing. Okay. And then The
But this
next
is
stage,
something, Chong, this is something what is completely different. So when you go in Bangkok, for example, to a Mercedes dealer, and you order a car, you have straight away the option to order also
Have it coated.
a coating in
Mm.
when you order a brand
Yeah,
new
The dealership.
luxury car, you can
Yeah.
order straight away in a detailership, in a dealership straight away a coating. So this is very, very rare in Europe. I think UK, Germany is more or less the same, and also other countries.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in the US, but I think
It-
we talk about it, but,
Starting to, right? It's getting there, isn't
Yeah,
it? in the US?
it depends on the dealership, and it depends on the manufacturer. So some manufacturers, you know, have a preference for certain products or chemicals. They have a deal, you know, worked out where like the new, like when you buy a Chevrolet or any type of GM, but preferably a Chevrolet, they have a deal with Adams Polishes where you can buy a full detail kit of everything that Adams sells to go with when you order said vehicle. And that's because Adam did a ton of stuff at Corvette groups and events and all that stuff, and did a big thing with Chevrolet. So, but that's products. It's not a coating. And what happens still is there's still industries here in the US where these sealant companies, they're more warranty companies than anything else. They sell you a warranty through the finance department.
Mhm.
So it's an extra add-on. The dirty secret is that sometimes they don't do anything more than put on a quick detail spray, and then send the car out and go, protected for 7 years. And the coating companies are having to fight against that to come in and go, no, we actually put something on your car that works. Where these insurance companies, so to speak, tell customers, yep, you bought this, you never have to wash your car again for 7 years. And as a detailer, when I had my shop, I'd have people pull up in like a Lexus or a new Toyota or something and say, well, I had that stuff from the dealership and they told me never to wash it. And I'd say, how long have you owned the car? And they said 2 years, and the car's filthy and they've never washed it. And that was a lot of re-education, and thankfully it's getting better. People are noticing that it's just this extra way to get money out of customers. They basically say, hey, we'll pay for that. And then they give you a very hard time to pay for that. They don't let you just say, hey, I need a detail. They say, we need pictures to show how dirty your car is. So that is the fact that there are products that you can coat your car from the factory in your order. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's absolutely fascinating. So this is something what is coming more and more, not popular, but what is a business what coming more and more in Asia.
Yeah.
I understand. So what is about wrapping, Chong? I have the feeling that clear coat wrapping is also the windshield. You have products to wrap the windshield in Asia. Is that something what you have also knowledge about, or?
I do know the market, but we don't have the product to do wrapping or windshield. We are calling the windshield protecting film or the window film or tinting. Okay, so I know the market is very big, and we don't have any product to
you don't have products, but it is something what is possible to do in Asia countries, no? So because
it's like a screen protector for your front windshield.
Yeah, so it's not allowed in Europe to do this. You know what I mean? So to protect your windshield with a clear foil is forbidden in Europe. So when I was in Asia, I was surprised that people bring brand new cars to our Chinese, so to Wendy, who is our Chinese distributor in Shanghai. She has around about 200 dealerships across China, and they protect with clear film windshields. And I was, oh my God, are you doing this here? And she said, yeah, that's very, very popular, because then you don't get problems with stones, and you just have it longer. But in Germany, it's not allowed, or in Europe especially, it's not allowed to do this. I don't know how it is in Australia and in US, if you can protect.
Yeah, US, it's good. We hung out with Marissa from ExoShield at the Serum Summit. Her and Atinder work for ExoShield, and they do almost all of North America, and that is a windshield glass film that goes over the windshield. And it's apparently a very lucrative market. So
yeah, it's just getting it right is a challenge, right? That's what I understood.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Saying, that, yeah, having the technology for it is the most challenging thing. So
yep.
Yeah.
No, interesting.
But I was study the windshield protecting film, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Since I saw the product in Japan, and we've been study the cost, the durability. It's actually just last one. They have few layer. Every year you have to remove the top layer. So they are calling like have 3 years warranty. And every year they have to remove the top layer. So until you remove the bottom, so that is done, finished. And the price is about, as I remember, in Japanese yen, I think it's about $2,000 US. The cost is about there. You know, selling price. I mean the not the cost. Okay, it's 2,000 to 4,000.
Selling price,
yeah. So
what is also, I mean that sounds in the first step very expensive, but with my car, I had a few weeks ago a stone damage in this area where you look out, and then in Germany, when you have the stone pick in a special area, you have to change the windshield, and I paid 1,500 euro to changing the windshield. So when I can, and I mean, I have my car now for a half year. I did a lease for 3 years, so I have to drive another 2.5 years. It is possible to get one damage again. Yeah, because I drive. I drive.
Yeah, you drive a lot.
I drive a lot, so it could be to put $2,000 foil on my windshield than changing. So when I have to change more than one time, I save money.
It's worth it.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, and Ivan LaCroix from Optima, formerly of Optimum, he has a big, huge bus, motor coach, that he tows his Jeep behind. He puts 40,000 miles on his bus a year. He travels all over the US and Canada. That's how he does all his trainings, events, everything. His detailed trainings. He did that same type of tearaway film on his front windshield for that same reason. This car is towed behind a bus and gets all the rocks and damage and debris from the motor and the exhaust and dirt and filth. And but his thing was that if he got a stone chip, he could peel that sheet across. But the same thing that you're talking about, Chong, that it's 3 years, he has 3 layers on it. And they say every year you peel off a layer and you've got a new layer on there. And that's what he does. And that's why is that reason. And we were talking about it. Like, I have a car, not this one, but I have another car I call the Elantra. It's a Hyundai Avante in Europe and Asia. I bought it in 2006. It was the first brand new car I ever bought. I still have it because it's very reliable and it's in good shape. And but I have put 6 windshields in that car in 14 years that I've owned it. But windshields for that car are only $150 US. So it's very cheap to swap out a windshield on that car. So for something like that, it's not a big deal. But
it's just
no problem. Yeah, but for the way that cars are now, I have a Toyota Camry. Let's bring it up here so you can see, but it's that car, the windshield's much more, let me change my background here. But this car, the windshield is much more expensive than the little silver car. So this car, you know, it would deserve that, just like what, you know, Lars is saying on his. That's a lot of money, man, on these new windshields. And especially if you have something like a luxury car or a supercar or something, you know, that the windshield's expensive. You think about like the McLaren Senna, $1.5 million car. That windshield, why not put a $2,000, $3,000 protection?
Whatever,
on a $20,000 windshield.
I did the repair. I let it. Those are Mercedes, what I have, and I bring it to a Mercedes dealer. So that is the most expensive way you can go.
Right. Yeah.
So when I go to my workshop here at the corner close to my home, he can change also the windshield, and maybe he has some problems with check out all the electric things, because it has this
sensors and
things and automatic raining, blah blah blah, and all this. But I think he can do it for half price to change the windshield. But it is a lease car, you know. The issue is always, it's a lease car. You have to bring it back after 3 years, and then they see how you change the windshield when it's not 100%. When it's not 100%. Yeah, when it's not 100% work, then they will say, why you don't do it in a certified Mercedes workshop and blah blah blah. And don't to have all these issues, I just bring it there. And I mean, you can cover it over the car insurance a little bit. So I finally,
it helps, but
I the cost was 1,500. I paid finally 550, something like this, and the rest is covered by the insurance. But the insurance, when you do this a couple of times, the insurance cost will increase, because they say you are an expensive customer for us, so we bring you.
Well, and I ran into this when I had my shop. So Chong, just a little bit about me. I've been a detailer professionally for 23 years. I had my own shop here in Boise, Idaho. I had 7 employees at the height of my shop, and we would do 150 cars a month out of my shop. And I did a lot of dealer work. So I became a refurbish center for dealerships. So they would get leases, used cars, repossessions, bring them to me. We would make them pretty again. And part of that was I subleased to PDR, so paintless dent repair, headlight restoration, windshields, and interiors. I had contractors that would come, and that's all they did. You know, I had one interior specialist. He only fixed leather and upholstery. That's all he did. I had one guy that only did door dings and dents and paint touch-up. But my windshield guy, when he would do windshields for these cars, I remember the Range Rovers were the most expensive. The Range Rovers at the time, the cost for the dealership was $1,000.
Wow.
The dealership's price to get that one windshield was $1,000. And if the dealership was going to make, let's say, $5,000 off the resale of this car, and they had to buy tires, and they had to buy a windshield, and they had to maybe do a detail and some upholstery, all of a sudden that $5,000 that they could make on that car is now maybe $2,000 because of the costs of all these items. So a lot of dealerships would go, we're not going to fix that windshield unless it's fully cracked, and we will try to fill the chip because there's no money in it. And that's just how they are. The same thing with these Camrys. That was one of the things. The Camrys, they have the resale is so high and the auction price is so high, dealerships don't like selling these because they can't make any money on them. So they usually just sell them back for what they're worth. So this car needed a windshield. It needed tires when I bought it. And the dealership was like, this is what we paid for it. Here's what we'll sell it to you for. We don't have a lot of wiggle room. And you can buy it and you can pay for that stuff yourself. So that's kind of how it is in the US, that there are weird little things where certain prices. So I see windshield stuff as like a new gold rush at least in the US. Windshield film.
How's it all covered by insurance? I mean, most insurance policies here include windscreen cover, and there are others where you may have to pay $50 a year just to include that windscreen cover. So it doesn't seem to be a problem for us.
Yeah, here it depends on the insurance company as to whether or not they allow to replace it or repair it. Some will ask that, hey, it's a $500 minimum regardless, $500 deductible. That used to be the norm. Yeah. So you'd pay $500 or whatever it was, but now it's $1,000. A lot of car companies, I tried to just go through, I've got 3 vehicles. I thought, why not have my insurance company see if they can save me a little money every month, see what you can do. First question was, do you want to go to $1,000 deductible? I said, no. No, I don't want to do that. I'll keep the 500. They're like, okay, well then we can't really change anything. But we can lower your insurance if you go with 1,000. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that now, because now it's $1,000 for a windshield. Like I have to pay it, or anything less than that. So, yeah. Or if I hit something, I got to pay $1,000 out of pocket. So, that's the problem here, is that $1,000 deductible is more and more common, and the price of things are hitting that $1,000, so that insurance doesn't have to pay so much. So
yeah, I mean, I think our what you call deductible, we call it as a voluntary excess, and I mean, on a standard car insurance policy, if I'm having to pay any more than £250 to £500, any more than that, I'd start to wonder, like, what is,
why do I need it? Yeah.
Why do I need it? Why do I, what's the point of having such a high excess that I've got to pay? That just defeats, unless I've got a major crash, it's not going to help me with anything else.
Right.
Yeah. In Asia, I believe we have a lot of windshield repairer. They can repair all the stone chip damage on the glass. So it's the labor cost is super cheap, like just 200 ringgit. It's about 40.
Yeah, 20, 25, 30 pounds. So about $25.
Yeah, it's super cheap. Yeah, even though goes higher, it's about 600, maybe 600. You can get a repairer to on-site repair. Yeah. So and then the insurance claims, I think we just have to pay the labor cost to get a replacement. So yeah.
And what is
to pay a labor cost? So we don't really need the windshield protecting film. But in other case, like Ferrari windscreen, or like you say, McLaughlan, all these supercar insurance companies not there to cover. So some case
special insurance.
They just don't. They just don't allow to cover the windshield. So the market is too small for the Asia country, especially like Southeast Asian country, Malaysia. Maybe Singapore is big because the richest class is staying there, so a lot of supercar there. So that's actually what I see is to depend on what kind of market, then the business could be success.
Yeah.
In Europe, the labor cost is higher.
Yeah.
Maybe that possible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not now for our
So
country.
what about is there a big market for second-hand cars or used cars? Because in Europe and in America, there's a big market for used cars. Like people are still happy to buy, you know, a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, or even heck, you know, 10, 15-year-old car.
That's my favorite thing.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never bought a brand new car in my life. I've never outright purchased a brand new car. I've got lease deals.
I never bought a car. I always lease cars.
Yeah.
You know, there you go. So, you know, what's the situation like for you guys? The reason why I ask is because obviously, you know, my parents live in India, so I have some idea. In India, no one wants to buy a second-hand car. Everyone wants to buy a brand new car.
Yeah.
I think nowadays still have like 70% people go to buy a new car, and the rest 30% they consider used car. But some cases we call reconditioned car, import from Japan, those MPV car, you know, like Toyota Alphard or Toyota Viewfire. This is something like rich class big van, you know. So it's popular here. It's not cheap, but the manufacturer is not produced in our country, so still they have to import the reconditioned car. So of course still have the market, but what I see in Japan, the market in Japan, a lot of car dealers they doing leasing. So because they want the business can be turned around, you know.
Because they know they're going to get that customer back in 3 years or whatever. That customer is going to come back to them.
You know, you can get a car, even though now in Malaysia, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, they providing car loan for their customer from their own. I mean, not from the bank. They're giving leasing and or leasing to own a car, like a car Mercedes-Benz 200,000 A-class 200,000, and you just have to pay very, very less, and 3 years later you return back the car for them, or you just continue the rest of the loan. You get what I mean? It's like 200,000.
Yeah, you can do that.
You just get the loan. It's 100,000. It's not 200,000. You know. Something like that. So that's a trend.
So
for
like
the car manufacturer.
Here in the U.S., like Toyota 4Runner or Surf, as it's called over there. So the 4Runner is a very popular SUV, and so it's very expensive for what it is, and the resale value is very high also, so it doesn't lose any. So the key to purchasing it is if you purchase it brand new, you pay maybe $700 a month on it, when you can lease it for $300 for 3 years, and then at the end of those 3 years, you only pay what you get a loan for what is left on the lease, if you buy it in those 3 years, you lose all the depreciation and then the rest of the loan. Where if you tried to buy a used 3-year-old 4Runner, you might as well buy a new one because the price is almost the same.
The same.
So like Anthony did that. He leased, one of my coworkers, he leased a new 4Runner because it was cheaper, and he did the math. He said, in 3 years, I'll only have to pay what is owed. I can buy it from Toyota, but I can't buy a 3-year-old Toyota for that price. Does that make sense? So it's
on the free
fact
market.
that
Okay.
Yeah, he goes, and he goes,
It's the same. It's the same in Germany.
I could buy it and sell it and make all my money back.
Yeah, that's the same in Germany. So not for every kind of car, but we have a lot of cars where it makes more sense to lease because the monthly costs are less than in compared to do a lowering or something like this. And so when we talk about brand new cars, I know that Malaysia has their own brand, Proton.
Yeah.
What is this? Is it a popular car, and is it really completely an own car, or is it something what is in a collaboration with another brand, or what is a Proton car?
Okay.
I'm pulling it up right
Malaysia,
now on my laptop.
Malaysia have two national car brand. We so-called two national car brand, but the other one is owned by Toyota, together with the local the government. So one called Proton, that is the brand. Many years ago, I think 1980 something, that they built a brand. Actually, it's from the president. They want to have a brand that owned by the government for a Malaysia brand. And first start they was collaborating with the Mitsubishi, and then after the contract finished, as I remember, after the contract finished, they collaborate with Lotus, and they acquire Lotus from UK, right? I think UK know, right? And then now has acquired by the Geely from China. Geely is owned, I think, 49% of the share now. Geely is also the owner of, also acquired the Volvo, you know?
Oh, Volvo. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you know the brand Geely.
The new owner.
Yeah.
New owner. I think it's 2-3 years ago.
I also hear 2 or 3 years ago, Geely wanted to acquire the Mercedes-Benz, but rejected from the Germany government. It's a very big company in China.
The Geely factory in China. I've actually been to their factory. Yeah, I've had a.
Now it's owned by the Geely. The management, the whole company is run by the Chinese top management. Yeah. Half is Malaysian people, half is Chinese.
To the Geely company when they wanted to apply for Mercedes-Benz, but at that time they were producing a small car in China, and the front of the car was just like a Mercedes-Benz C-Class, exactly the same. They copied their design. And then they were trying to negotiate, and of course, Mercedes were like, because they were just blatantly infringing on copyrights and things. Because in China, nobody cared in China, so it wasn't doing their case any good.
So just to let know the people who doesn't know, so everybody's thinking you are born and grown up maybe in Australia, but that's not true. So you live round about, I think, 10 years in Shanghai, Terry?
Yeah.
And before you've
10
been
years.
few years in Brunei also, no?
Yeah. 3 years in Brunei Darussalam and nearly 10 years in China. So I was 13 years in Asia altogether. But I originated in the UK. And we were talking about the cars there. I remember coming from the UK and I came to Australia. This is in the 90s. I can remember how expensive I thought cars were here. Used second-hand cars were very, very expensive. In the UK, I used to buy cars for 100, 200 pounds, do them up a bit, sell them, make a profit. And I came here, and for a similar car, you'd be paying $3,000. So it's huge. Even today, I was just doing a quick calculation when you guys were talking. A Range Rover here. So my Range Rover cost me around $80,000 to buy. That's a small Range Rover, the Evoque. And I think in England, that would be £42,000.
Yeah.
In euro, that's 48,000 euro, and US dollars 52,000. So we pay a lot for cars here.
Yeah.
More than many other countries. I'm sure that price is higher than what you guys would see in your countries. So yeah, our market is different here. So most people, it's cheaper to buy a new car. Well, not cheaper, but relatively speaking, the gap between, say, a 2 or 3 year old car, if you were to buy a second-hand car, the gap is not that big. So it kind of, why would you buy a 2 or 3 year old car when you're not saving much? You have to buy a new one. So the market is controlled by car dealerships here. That's the personal private car market is quite small. Whereas in the UK, I remember nobody would go to a car dealership to buy a second-hand car. You'd look in the paper, you'd find a second-hand car, you'd buy it locally.
That's how it still is here. You know, Facebook Marketplace in the US is quickly outpacing the original Craigslist, because Craigslist now charges to post an advertisement, where Facebook Marketplace, you just put it on there on your Facebook page, and at least you now have a face, you know, and hopefully a profile in which to buy something from someone, so you can at least see if they're legit.
That's true. Yeah, I was surprised because I remember asking you guys when we were up when we were in US at the beginning of the year. Like I think I asked what's the best place to buy a car, you know, like a used car. I think Eric just responded Marketplace.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is the easiest place.
Like, really? Marketplace? Yeah, no?
Yeah. And then you go to a bank, you get your loan, and then you go buy it from the person, like where you look at the car and settle a deal and then get the loan. So, but you can still, like I said, many dealerships still have you know, certified pre-owned or lease returns or things of that nature. Like the Camry I got was a lease return, and then because of the mileage on it, it went to auction. So it came back. So a Toyota dealership sold it or put it on for lease. It went to a customer who drove it a lot, came back. The dealership couldn't certify it as a pre-owned, you know, Camry because the mileage was, you know, they were way over. And so they just sent it to an auto auction, and then the auto auction sold it to a dealership, a secondhand dealership, and they took it and then sold it to me. And they had sent it to me to clean up, to detail, to do all the stuff for it. But they called and said, hey, just do this, like my cheapest service on it. And I got in it and was like, well, that's actually not in bad shape. And I'd been looking for one of these. So I had reached out and said, what do you guys want for it? And they ended up selling it to me for basically what they put into it, and gave me the receipts on everything. And I said, cool, perfect. But yeah, now, like, I mean, my little truck that I used to have, Ram and Lars, I paid $500 for that. Kid about 20 miles away had taken really poor photos, but the truck was 20 years old and in decent shape. But it was one of those where I paid $500, bought it, fixed it up, kept it for a year, put it back on Facebook Marketplace for $2,000, sold it for 1,600, made $1,100 profit, and got to drive it for a year.
Yeah.
You know, and I just
That's
detailed
right.
it up and put some tires on it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
that's still a very big thing here, because there's no real, we don't, thankfully in Idaho, we don't have a lot of road going things. If your windshield's cracked, that's fine, you can drive with it. You know, if you're missing a front bumper, that's fine, you can drive. You know, there's a lot of like leeway where if you go just one state down to Utah, they have very strict rules. If you have a chip, if you have this, you can't drive the car. If your tires are this far gone, you can't drive the car. If your wheels look a certain way, you can't drive the car. Like, there's any damage, you know, to the vehicle, they want to make sure. But here in Idaho, they're like, hey, if it's got 4 wheels, turn signals, headlights, brake lights, good to go. Have fun. Like, as long as you can stop and go and make sure people know when you're turning and lights,
You're fine.
You're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Impossible in Germany. Impossible.
I remember the first.
Yeah.
I still remember this. The first time we actually visited SEMA, me and Lars. There's a guy who was trying to sell Lars these suspension things that make your car go very low, that make your car.
Yeah. Yeah. The airbags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the airbag,
You know,
air compressor.
Yeah, he wanted Lars to, like, we were just chatting and the guy just, you know, halfway through the conversation, like, do you want to become our distributor for Germany? And I think Lars just turned around and said, well, I don't even know if this thing's legal. Like, in Germany, I don't even know if I'm allowed to do this. Let alone
Morgan put it on her BMW. She's got airbags on her M3.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so she
Yeah,
raises and lowers.
That is very difficult in Germany. I mean, yeah, we have a tuning scene, so but people optimize cars or however you want to call it. But the rules are very, very tight in Germany. So there's really less options to do something. It is always fascinated for me when, especially on SEMA, when you see no car is original. No? Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is the main goal, I think. So buy a normal car and change everything. That is
yeah.
what the US people do, and that is unfortunately not possible in Germany. So and also what is very strictable in Germany is that everything what you have on your car, if you need it or not, it has to work perfect. You know, so.
Yeah.
If you have a fog light in the front, for example, and if you have it there, it has to work. If you need it or not need it. So if you don't, you know, the car is legal without or with.
Yeah.
But if you have the lights in the front,
yeah, they have to work.
They have to work. Yeah. So so you can put it out, then it's fine. Or when it stays still inside, it have to work. So something like this, no? Then tinting the windows is just in the back allowed, not on the front. And
you mean like these?
The
front windshield tinted as well. I also have the front windshield tinted.
It's not allowed in Germany. It's not allowed. It's completely forbidden. No? And we just know this from the Russian people.
Yeah, right.
So so that is something, but yeah, I mean, Bias is allowed to drive 250, 300 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, well, I think it's a safety.
I think it makes
safety
sense.
thing.
Yeah, so I think it makes sense to say, okay, when speed limit free, so when the speed limit is free and you can buy when you have a super sport car, or you don't need a super sport car. When you have a M3 with an open engine, optimize a little bit, then you can drive with this car 280 kilometers per hour, or 290. That's possible. And in Germany, we have roads where it is allowed, where it's legal to drive so fast. So I mean, it's nice.
It's a question of safety at that point. Yeah.
It's nice.
They want to make sure everything works.
When the brakes works by 300.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. What you don't want is to have someone with a car that isn't up to snuff isn't up to its best operating procedure, and then getting out on the road and then causing an accident or a breakdown or a traffic jam, which could then compound into massive wrecks and things like that. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a smart thing where, you know, the fastest I can go is 95 down to Utah. So 95 miles an hour down to Utah is our speed limit is 85, and they let you go sometimes 10 miles over.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when I drive in the US, what I figure out that they always drive a little bit too fast, no? But you don't have this speed control by camera flashing, or you have it very, very rare.
Yeah, very rare in random spots.
Very rare, yeah. So we have it everywhere, no? And you can lose your driver license for 1 month or 3 months or maybe for longer. So just because when you drive too fast in an area, and yeah. So I saw Tom
Kirby Thompson
is writing something. So a Toyota van in Jakarta 10 years ago was $55,000 US, but local Kaizen was about 30,000. So
wow.
I don't know what a Kaizen is.
Kijang. Yeah.
Kijang.
So yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think they are. Kirby. A little more alert.
Yeah. So the next comment is from him also. Germany has their high-speed autobahn, but so did Nevada put not that high. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hopeful Germany drivers are more alert.
Yeah. Kirby lives outside. Yeah. So his name is Kirby Thompson. And he lives outside of outside of Houston, Texas. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Texas is also a lot of things allowed. No? There's a Texas you can do everything what you want. No? Not driving
basically
fast, but
yeah.
And the Texas flag is also on the same level like the US flag, no?
That's the one state, yeah.
One state, just, no? That is what I learned about Texas,
yeah.
Very interesting.
That was how they became. That was their rule to become a state in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Because they wanted to be their own country when they became it was 1800s, some sort. They wanted to be their own country, and so that was their rule to joining the union. Was they said that you know, but our state is equal to the American flag.
They still feel
our flag.
They still feel different, like in Germany, the Bavarian guys. Because when I'm traveling, when I met a guy from Texas, and I say, "Oh, you are from the US?" "No, I'm from Texas."
Yeah.
That is the same with that's the same with the Bavarian guys in Germany. When you met a guy from Bavaria and you say, "Oh, you are from Germany?" "No, I'm from Bavaria." So, that is very, very
same thing.
Very
I have a lot of family. I have a lot of family in Texas. My mom was one of 11 children, and they all live in Texas. And my mom's the only one that lives in Idaho. So I have 10 aunts and uncles, and then a lot of cousins down in Texas. So, but
that's one state. That's another state that I haven't been yet. So
it's big and flat.
well, yeah. Derek, we've got a customer called Derek. He's out in Houston as well. So he keeps inviting us to go there and do trainings there. So maybe that
I was 2 hours. I was 2 hours in the Houston airport.
Oh, okay. Oh, when you were on your way,
so you've
right?
been there. You've been there.
I was there. Yeah.
When I was 14, I did a trip. I flew to Dallas with my mom, and then we rented a car and drove from Dallas, which is in the northern part of the state, all the way to McLaughlan, which is 13 miles from the border of Mexico.
Wow.
And we did that, and we drove for a total of, I think, 14, or at the time it was 14 hours. We stopped in San Antonio halfway, spent the night, and then continued the drive down. And I mean, it is a very, very big big state when you realize the size of it. I mean, it is massive.
Yeah, that's massive. Okay, Sean. So you have Proton is one brand, and then you say you have a second brand in Malaysia, a second car brand, or did I understand this right? What is the second one? I don't know what this.
The second one we call the brand name is Perodua. That actually built together with Toyota. It's actually owned by Toyota Group. It's one of Toyota Group, but they produce a brand that to concentrate on K car. Do you know K car?
Yeah, the really small
Yeah,
cars.
yeah, small.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
K meaning is light. In Japanese,
light.
K.
Yeah.
Light, very light car. So
A light
small.
car. Okay.
Yeah. Small and
So
not
it's
heavy car. Yeah.
So for those of you wondering, it's Perodua.
Yeah.
Perodua.
Yeah.
Perodua.
Yeah. That actually they first start. They use Daihatsu.
You put this in the comments, Levi. I can't.
Yeah. I'll type it in there. I'll put it in the comments here. Let me link it real quick.
Okay, what kind of car is it? This so just light cars or what is it?
Yeah, they collaborating with Daihatsu.
Okay.
Okay. I think they just whatever they produce in Japan. 2 or 3 years ago, the model phased out, and then they send it to Malaysia to produce the car at first start, and then now they have their own R&D. They produce the model, the design, everything is under their in-house in Malaysia. Now, so that's a second brand, but it's owned by Japanese.
Yeah, company.
Yeah.
And the production is also in
Malaysia.
In Malaysia, is everything in Proton City, or where that is the main area where car producing? Is it right or?
Yeah. The place so called is Rawang. They have their own factory. It's a big factory there. Yeah. They also have a lot of big office around the city of Selangor, Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. So Proton have their own Proton City. So it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, I was once there. I did a training by the Lear Corporation, as you know, now. So that was a funny experience for me. And but it's around about 2 hours, or 1.5, 2 hours from Kuala Lumpur, far away. So you drive 1.5, 2 hours across the country, and Malaysia is just beautiful. That's you have so many green. It is unbelievable. Very nice country, but you drive on the wrong side, like
The right side.
like
The correct side.
like Ram and Terry, no? just Levi and me, we know how to drive.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So the brand, these 2 brand is owned by half is owned by the foreigner. Okay, half is owned by the local government. So they are top seller, especially the Perodua. They are selling a lot. They are top seller. Then the second one is Proton. It used to be like Proton is the top seller, but now I think it's about ranking in 3rd or 4th rank top selling company in the local. But now Proton is very aggressive because that is owned by now the management is owned by the Chinese company. So the CEO is from China, and they are very aggressive. They try to export to the UAE country, to Australia also. I know because a friend that worked in Proton is the one that distribute the brand to other country. Yeah. So they are very aggressive. They have big picture. Yeah.
I mean, this is something what is special in Australia. In Australia, you really see on the road the full range of the global car industry. So I don't know any other country who has. You have Japanese cars, you have Chinese cars, you have Malaysian cars, you have German cars, you have American cars, you have your own cars. This small pickups. What is the name?
The
Okay.
utility. The
utility.
UTE or
Yeah.
Ute. Yeah.
The Ute.
Yeah.
The Ute. What I really like, it's awesome cars, especially with the V8 inside.
Yeah. It's the one car we wish we would have gotten here in the US. We didn't get any of them.
Yeah, no, but Lars is right. We see everything here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
even
very special in Australia.
Yeah. Even the Chinese cars, they're like Great Wall and Geely, they're all starting to appear here. Yeah. You can buy everything.
if you can. No?
Yeah.
So what is the reason why it is popular in Malaysia? Is it price size, or what is the reason why this?
Because of the government, they set the rule. They control the market. They don't allow, like Australia can, all different kind of brand can import and do the business. They control the market. You want an entry into Malaysia, the brand, you have to talk to too many government department, or you have to know some guy that in the government to help you. Yeah, it's impossible. Usually impossible, and they want to protect their own brand, Proton Producer. So that's why they are not really allowed a lot of brand here. And the US car brand like Ford, Chevrolet almost fail in Malaysia. It's not very popular in Malaysia. So they try to control everything. Even though like used car, reconditioned car wanted to import from other country, you don't have so-called AP permit that allow you to import. So you cannot import any car to do the business. Not everyone can do it. They specify everything, and they try to set the game rule is very, very difficult.
So Malaysia first,
easy.
No? It's a rule. Malaysia first is the rule, no? Okay. So coming back to detailing is, I mean, Malaysia is a hot country. So is something special about this? Do you have different issues with paint or with protecting or something like this? Because it is very, I mean, you have daily 30 degrees or something like this, no? 12 months a year, no? So
yeah.
Is there something, do you know something different, or do you have different issues? Is color fading a problem, or I don't know. I mean, I know for the leather it is harder to survive. And I know also that is all the plastic things, also German brands sometimes have some issues with soft touch coating or something like this on a door panel or something, so it comes sticky or whatever. So what is about all this things what is coming together with so much sun? Is there
You mean the weather cause any difficulties to the car paint? Do you mean that? We answered Tom. Malaysia have many bikes made locally. No, as I know, Honda maybe, but most of them should be import. Our countries almost a Japanese brand. They monopoly the whole market. Japanese. Yeah, and then the second one should be a Germany car, the luxury brand car. Yeah. Okay, so
Chong, I remember years ago in Brunei, the humidity was so high. We had problems with Porsche. We had problems with the leather dashboards. The leather used to separate from the dashboard and bubble up, and caused huge problems for us. Is that still an issue today? Do you see this happening now?
Now should be less, but yeah, of course, still have this kind of problem because I think 20 years ago the window film is not popular, so now have the popular. Now it's very popular. The window film can reject a lot of heat, so for interior leather trim can be last more than the previous case, like twice, I believe. But yeah, still it's very hot. Usually it's about 30 to 40, 35 at afternoon, 35 to 40 degrees. Yeah.
Well, especially the 928, the Porsche 928 and the 911s, we had a lot of full leather trim with leather dashboards, and it was a nightmare. But that's going back to the 1990s. You know, things have probably changed.
Terry, that was in the 90s when they still use chrome tannery leather. So the tannery system was on chrome. So, and around about 2000, the most German car producers changed from chrome tannery to synthetic tannery system. And a leather, what is synthetic tanned, but it's tannery system on synthetic, so chrome free, shrinks less than in compare to chrome leather, and it shrinks 95% less. So it's really a huge difference about shrinking by heat, you know. So it was cars in the 80s or 90s when they put leather on it with the chrome leather, and then they sent it to a country like Malaysia where you have daily 30 degrees or more, or also to Dubai. 1-2 years later, the leather piece was smaller than the dashboard. So this issue they covered because they changed the tannery system from chrome to synthetic leather. That is one thing. And then in the glue industry is also going on a lot of different kind of things, and they lift also a little bit the lab test. So I think in the 90s they have to pass 60 degrees. That it's not allowed that the dry glue is melting, and now it is 70 degrees. So, and I know that all the companies who do this covering with leather or putting a foam behind leather or something like this, they do testing by 90 degrees. So I mean 90 degrees on the surface of leather, what is really high. So when you stay a car outside by 30 degrees in the sun, it will go up to 60-65 degrees inside of a car. So and the lab test, they have to pass 70 degrees, but every company who I know, they do lab test with 90 degrees. So they put 20% extra on top just to be sure. So, and that was not what they did in the 90s. So in the 90s was chrome laser and testing by 60 degrees. That the glue is sticky, and now they lift the norms up and the testing system. So that coming less. But I think a new problem is shown, when I know correctly, is the soft touch thing. So I think the Volkswagen Group, so Audi, for example, has some issues with that it comes sticky with body oil and sun. Is it something? Is it something what you have often? Or I mean, a lot of people know this from Ferrari, from the buttons in Ferrari. That's for touching, or Audi and Volkswagen Group has this also on the light button very, very often. Or I did this week a repair on a SLK with a red interior. I will launch this video this weekend, how to repair this soft touch thing. This car was also in the 90s, so when they start with this soft touch thing, it was, especially in the beginning, a big issue. But it is also I know in Dubai, for example, it's a problem with this soft touch. How is it is it something what the people talk about, or is it not common, this problem, this sticky surfaces in the interior?
I think most of the problem that is caused by the heat, most of the brand is from the Euro country, the Euro country car, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, but not happen in other brand, Toyota, Japanese brand, or the local brand, because I think they have the know-how about the weather damage or the heat damage. So that's why they don't produce soft touch surface. Okay, they don't produce. They just make hard plastic coating with a color, but soft touch material that will let people feel like more luxury, I believe. That's why all the cars from luxury brands have this kind of issue in Malaysia.
England won't have that problem, right? You don't get over 20 degrees over there, do you, Ram?
We've had 2 weeks of summer. I think that's that's our summer done.
I mean, that is what you say absolutely correctly, Chong, is when a new car coming out in Germany, and I see the first previews or checking on YouTube, and when they talk about the interior, it's always the same, that they say, it's a nice interior because it doesn't look so many plastic, and everything touch like soft and leather. So that is that is what people really want. And so we Ford, for example, launched the 7th generation of the Explorer now again in Germany. So we don't have this car normally in Germany, but they launched it again. And the first previews was also, for an American car is less plastic inside. The interior is not so bad. That is what the people say about in Europe or in Germany. So that is the reason why. So the Germans think a good interior is an interior with less plastic. And so they can't do everything with leather because it's too expensive. And so they look for alternative products, and the soft touch is for looking and touching an alternative. But when they send it to a country like Malaysia, 30, 35 degrees, 12 months a year, and the big humidity that comes also on top now. It's not just that it's warm, it is also wet. Then it is a hard competition to stay strong for this kind of materials. Yeah. And is there something? Is a special thing what people care for this, or is it an issue and there's not really a solution to go about it, or is it? I mean, we can repair with our stuff with Colourlock products. You can repair this, but is there something? Is something else on the market in Malaysia about this issue, or when it's sticky, or what is the way how to fix it?
Usually, people just replace a new part. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Replace a new part. Some might be expensive, some super cheap, but yeah. So the market, I don't know yet for this kind of issue. It's big or small. The market, I don't know, but yeah. Of course, have the problem. So we are able to fix it. It's a chance to fix it.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah. So, anything else special in the Asian market when you look from the detailing scene? So, what is about the group? You have a detailer group in the
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about this? Hey, how's it going, mate?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Look
He's
here.
got Augie did a little makeup himself, so he's colored his face.
Good on you, man.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before I talk about the group, I would like to talk about the market in our future. What we see have to be careful, because now, like just now, Ren saying that how's a used car in the market, how's a new car. Actually, now all the whole game is controlled by the big company. So, example like the used car, they that is also owned by the manufacturer brand. They create another company to do a used car. You understand? So now only the big guy to play the big game. All the small guy could be kicked out in Asia country. What I see, you know what I mean? It's like they take the whole market. So and also now, the internet is popular, of course, nowadays, and 5G is coming. A lot of platform, they produce car auction. They are doing car auction, not just buying a car, looking on a picture. They have a professional way to sell the car. Most of them is copy from the Japanese system. They have a professional guy to check the car condition, and then they mark the car grade, the condition, whether it's good or bad, so in a very reasonable price. That means the price is also very fair. It's just like Uber. before Uber, the price is unfair. You grab a taxi, you know. So after Uber come out, the price is same. It's like now you can see the automotive market. They have a lot of new platform to sell the car. Even though like Gates can sell the car on Facebook, you know, so everyone can like sell their own used car. So yeah, the game is changing. It's not like 10 years ago, all the used car dealer.
I guess
My makeup, my mom did that.
That's awesome. You look great. Sorry, my kids are playing dress up.
Yeah, a lot of.
Sorry to interrupt, Chong. Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, a lot of used car dealer, they close up or bankrupt because the game is getting very difficult.
Wow.
If you are the big guy, you are, let's say, Toyota. Nissan, they have car auction platform. Nissan, they have their own used car. So new car, the customer go to buy a new car, they trade in the used car to Nissan also. You know, all the business they grab it. They also can sell in their platform car auction. Car auction is also allowed used car dealer to buy or the end user to buy. So the game is changing. The used car dealer maybe disappear. The used car dealer. I mean.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Because of the auction platform now.
Yeah, and then turns out you can see if our product, car coating, or even though Colourlock, if we don't prepare well to knock the manufacturer door or to get all the networking, the network with a car manufacturer or the big car dealers, then we don't see the future. So that's why we trying to, you know, to sell our product, our service to the manufacturers. Not only aftermarket one-man show or aftermarket service. It's difficult because all the new car, used car, they control. They even though give warranty for the used car, so all the customer go back to the car dealers, the new car dealers.
Okay.
So
you
the car.
Have a question online there, Chong. There's a question from Tom Kirby. Says, do most Malay owners drive and take care of their cars themselves?
Yeah, of course. That is depend on what car you are driving, but some case people driving a very cheap K car, they also taking care some. Yeah, but it's depend. It's depend. Not
It's
everyone.
not like in China. I remember when I was in China, most of the owners they would have a driver. So quite often when you met or when they brought the car to a dealership, you didn't know if you were dealing with the driver or the owner of the car. That's quite different to Malay, right? In Malaysia.
In some rich class people, yeah, of course, the same. Yeah. Usually, yeah, all people is buy for their own. It's not in that way, but
that was something quite unique with the Chinese market, because the car market there, they didn't have a middle class. You had the lower class who were riding bicycles, and then you made that massive jump to where people were driving 7 Series BMWs, Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and it would always be the 600, you know, the V12s. So 76% of sales were S-class sales in China. It was and you didn't have that middle class. So you had extremely wealthy people and then you had extremely poor people. So it was quite a different market there. And it was the driver who looked after the car. So it would be the driver that washed it and cleaned it, not the owner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
That makes sense.
I think that is in Malaysia. It's different. So I think what I saw was that well, in Malaysia, or I think there's a difference between Calais and countryside also, no, Chong. So in Calais, it's everything a little bit more modern, and you have also a middle class. What I was seeing, you have to correct me if it's like this. And when I drive up to Proton City and do the training there, I had the feeling that on the countryside, it's a different country in compared to the capital city, to Calais. So so I think people in Calais will care for his cars, and there's of course also a group who are rich and they don't care so much for it. And on the countryside, the most people are happy when they have a motorcycle. No? So car drive, not everybody has a car on the countryside, is it?
Yeah.
So it's a bit
Something
different.
strange I noticed before was also I used to see cars driving around in Shanghai where the car was waxed, but then they would leave the wax on the car for about a week without wiping off. For whatever reason, I don't know. I think they believed that it would
to show that you are
They're cleaning it. They're working on it.
that you work on it. No, to show that you can use luxury wax. No?
Well, it wasn't a luxury wax. It would have been something pretty cheap.
It should be impossible to wipe off if you don't wipe off the Canuba wax.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it just showed the level of understanding of car care, you know, back, and yeah, we're going back a few years, but I don't know whether that was similar in other Asian countries, but yeah, in China it was quite strange to see this kind of thing.
Well, it's like
and people would happily drive around, driving with an S-Class Mercedes with this wax all over it that had hazed over and gone white and powdery, and they were just driving around.
Well, it's like it's like the kids that keep the stickers on the hats to show that they're still brand new, but the hat's like they wear it every day. It's dirty, it's filthy, but it's still got the stickers on it.
Yeah. Well, that happens with people. People who don't remove all the plastic.
Yeah.
But my dad's got this thing, like whenever he'll buy something new, he'll never remove the plastic. He'll buy a brand new phone, he's still got the plastic film on there. It's like, you don't need it. It's like, yeah, but it's keeping it clean. No, that's not the point. Yeah.
So Malaysian people cares also by himself, and when they are when they have enough money, then they will join the cheap labor cost in Malaysia. I think that is how it works in Malaysia, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
So the whole situation now, I believe some wealthy people is getting more less and less now because now the crisis is coming. We don't see the big effect right now, but I believe another 2 more months later, the second quarter, maybe you can really see anything have a big effect, because the whole crisis, the financial crisis, the lifestyle is changing. So people here don't have to work about 2 months ago. So a lot of poor people here. So it's changing now.
Changing a lot of
Yeah, and then talking about our group to run the business.
Yeah.
So we have about 20 location to run the whole car detailing business, including the brand we are carrying, Fine Lab, Ulgo, Colourlock. Okay, yeah, they are the workshop owner. Yeah. What's more you wanted to to know more,
I think,
or you have any question?
Yeah, that is for sure an interesting point. So to hear a little bit more about this, because just to get a better view, because all these 20 people are across of Asia, no? But we are nearly now by 2 hours, and that is so the main time what we want to do. So I think we will propose it this to a next episode next week, or on the next 10 days we will do another episode. And we are lucky, Chong. Thank you very much that you joined us today. I hope you will join us in the next episode again, and then we talk a little bit about the group, and you can maybe also interview the guys a little bit before. What is his experience, or the every single experience at the moment for Corona, at Corona, and what they expect or hoping for the future. That you can also talk a little bit about this. And so thank you everybody for joining us. It is on.
Thank you.
It is on YouTube, so everybody who doesn't watch this now, I mean, US time is fine. Australia and Malaysia is also on the same time, early in the morning, Friday. For Ram and me, it's in the middle of the night, so we don't have so many German or UK or European.
I don't know where I am. I kind of feel like I've just flown to the US. I feel like I've just flown to the US. It's like 3 a.m.
Yeah. Okay, so I will go offline. Thank you, everybody. And
thanks, guys.
it was an
Appreciate
interesting
it. Later, guys.
session, and we see us in the next few days. And